Good morning. I hope this message finds you doing very well. I hope you are not sick. I hope you have had a great spring break. I hope you are doing awesome. I hope you're having fun being at home. Um, I have missed you terribly. I hope that we get to see each other very soon. I tried to do a Zoom video this morning, and if you do get a chance to join that, I will try to do them in the mornings, and we can actually video talk, conference talk back and forth together. And so I have sent you all the code for that. And one of the things that I have really missed is getting to read you a story each day. And we have loved this year reading the A to Z mysteries. So I found at home the M, the missing mummy. And so I thought we would take some time this morning and read the very first chapter. And I will upload this one, and then hopefully tomorrow I'll get to upload chapter 2 so we can still be able to read it together. You're welcome to comment me back on here. You can comment me back on Google Classroom. Um, Let me know what your thoughts are about the story. And I've also on my Google Classroom listed some different assignments on there. They're not required, but they will keep your brain smoking really hard. And we want to keep those brains sharp while we're not at school. And so I've put those on there, and I will give prizes when we come back to my friends who are working on them, especially MobyMax, Smarty Ants, all of that. You know that I can see that even from here when you're working on them. So if you're working on them, that I will give you some prizes. So here is the beginning, the missing mummy. The missing mummy. Here is this of green lawn. Here is the beginning of chapter 1. Mummy Monday at the museum, Josh said. He peered over Dink's shoulder at the Sunday newspaper. So what's the next day? Tummy Tuesday? It was summer vacation, and Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose were lying on the lawn behind Dink's house. Josh's dog, Pal, was snoozing under a tree. Ruth Rose took the paper and read the article quickly. No, Josh, the next day is about dinosaurs, she said. It's called Tyrannosaurus Tuesday. The museum is having programs for kids all week, Dink explained. So what happens on Wednesday? Josh asked. Kids go to the Connecticut River and study plant and animal life, Ruth Rose said. It's called Wet Wednesday. Dink took the newspaper back from Ruth Rose. And the next day, you get to make a horror movie. That's Thrilling Thursday. The last day is Frog Friday. Each kid gets to study a different type of frog. So let's sign up, Josh said. How much does it cost? Dink scanned the page. $1 for each program, he said. He looked at Josh and Ruth Rose. That's $5 for all 5 days. I don't have $5, Ruth Rose said. Me neither, said Josh. But I know how we can earn it. How? Dink asked. My dad's been trying to get the barn cleaned out, he said. I bet he'd give us money if we did it for him. Great idea, Dink said. The kids ran to Josh's house and spent the rest of Sunday working. Brian and Bradley, Josh's 2 little brothers, helped by playing with Pal. Josh's dad gave each of the kids $7 for their hard work. After lunch the next day, Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose got on the bus to Hartford. 15 minutes later, the bus dropped them off on Main Street in front of the Wadsworth Museum. Across the street was a bank. A digital sign of the bank's entrance said, Monday, July 10th, 82 degrees. Man, wouldn't that be nice? Then the sign flashed the time. It was nearly 2 o'clock. Come on, guys, Dink said. We only have a few minutes to get there and sign up. They ran to the museum's front steps, through the wide doors. Inside the museum was an air conditioned and quiet. The floor was made of marble. Tapestries and large paintings covered the white walls. Welcome to Mummy Monday, said the woman standing behind the counter. Across the lobby, a bunch of other kids and a group of grown-ups were already waiting. Ruth Rose took a a map from a rack just inside the door. Then the kids walked over to join the group. They each gave the woman behind the counter $1. I wonder where they keep the mummies, Josh whispered. At exactly 2 o'clock, a door behind the counter opened and a tall man walked out. He was wearing a tan jacket, shorts, knee socks, laced boots, and a white helmet. I am Dr. Harris Tweed, the man said. Today I will take you on a journey to ancient Egypt. Dr. Tweed's face, hands, and knees were deeply tanned. Dink wondered how much time he had spent in Egypt, because he had had to been in the desert. Who's ready to follow me into the tomb? Dr. Tweed asked. He smiled, showing big white teeth that made his tan face look even darker. We're going in a tomb? Josh muttered. I think I want my $1 back. Shh, Dink whispered. Dr. Tweed's eyes narrowed. If you're afraid of mummies, now it's time to speak up. A girl with red hair said, Won't mummies smell? Today you will learn precisely why mummies don't smell. Follow me to the tomb. They walked to the arch at the rear of the lobby. Through the arch was a room with rows of benches facing a blank stone wall. The wall was built of large, flat rocks fitted closely together. Dink wondered how the museum people got those huge rocks inside. The tomb and the mummies are on the other side of this wall, Dr. Tweed said. Before we go inside, I want to tell you a little bit about these people and how they died and how they became mummies. He pointed to the benches. Please be seated. Let's sit in front, Dink said, heading for the bench. When everyone was seated, Dr. Tweed began speaking in a deep voice. Close your eyes and imagine you are standing on the banks of the Nile River 4,000 years ago. Feel the sun on your back. See the river as it flows by. Hear the oxen bellow as they labor in the fields. Hush fell over the group. Suddenly, an earthquake shakes the ground, Dr. Tweed shouted. Dink's eyes popped open as goosebumps crept up on his arms. All of the kids opened their eyes and stared at Dr. Tweed. Later, he continued, the survivors prepared the dead for burial. 3 of the people who died in that earthquake are with us today. Dr. Tweed walked over to the wall and pressed his hands against one of the stones. Immediately, the wall slid open. Through the opening, Dink could see a dim room. The stone floor was partly covered with sand and gravel. What you see is the burial tomb, Dr. Tweed said quietly. Come in, please, but speak only in whispers and touch nothing. This is so great, Ruth Rose whispered as she entered the tomb. The tomb was cold, and Dink shivered. Old pots and farming tools were scattered around the floor. Strange-looking symbols were painted on the walls. Off to one side were 3 stone coffins. And that is where we end. This is the beginning of chapter 2. So hopefully we will get to that tomorrow. I enjoyed getting to spend a little bit of time with you. And again, message me back anytime on here. Thanks. Bye.